And we're hitting the ground running with Gamergate 2 Electric Boogaloo. The Verge reporter Ash Parrish, some of you recognize that name from Gamergate 1, admits to excluding Sweet Baby Incorporated's cancellation campaign in order to push woke narrative. The Verge reporter Ash Parrish admitted to lying and excluding Sweet Baby Incorporated's cancellation campaign with the Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo in order to push her woke narrative and defend the company. And this is the line that I'm going to have fun with. Parrish wrote an article titled, and I quote, "The return of Gamergate is smaller and sadder," that accuses gamers of taking part in a harassment campaign against Sweet Baby Incorporated. The article provides zero evidence of such harassment, much like the first one, but I want to take issue with the return of Gamergate is smaller and sadder. If it was smaller and sadder, then why are they circling the wagons and vomiting the same tired propaganda they did last time? Really gets noggin jogging. Not only does it not include any evidence, it omits evidence the Sweet Baby Incorporated engaged in a harassment and cancel campaign launched by Sweet Baby Incorporated employees Chris Kindred and Maya Kramer against Brazilian gamer Cabrutus Rambo due to the fact they created a scene. Fuck, we've been over this a million times. We all know what Sweet Baby is, and we all know who Cabrutus Rambo is. And that's kind of the main takeaway from this here is, again, they are circling the wagons on this shit, and they're not exactly bringing anything new to the table, and it's just it's sad. Like like this cunt says, Return of Gamergate is smaller and sadder. It's like, I'm sorry, Cupcake, but you are the one who is smaller and sadder. I mean, for fuck's sakes, is this what is did Gamergate like define your life? Did Gamergate one give meaning to your miserable existence, and you just can't let go? Like, I'm just latching onto this because I find it funny. The first one was funny. The second one is funny. For me, this is funny. But for you, this is sad. It's sad. And just rehashing all the same shit we've heard before. Blah 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 blah. But yeah. Again, I'm going to point out every single one of these articles that I catch wind of, just because it's so fucking funny. It's like, honestly, they're thinking this is like their Hail Mary for their career again. I swear to God. Okay, this one was amusing for me for all the obvious reasons. Unity game developer Scott Anderson defends Marvel's Black Panther developers' race-based hiring discrimination. We talked about this before in that actually, is this the same? Actually, all these racist companies are kind of merging together in my head. Is this the same company I was thinking about before? Yep. Yeah, it's the validate people. Yep. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I talked about these people before and how they didn't want to hire white guys because my white supremacy and my safe space and my white devil and all that jazz. This kind. Yeah. Okay. Oh god. And much like the Gamergate 2 Prime, this is like Gamergate. This is Gamergate 2 Subprime. In that, okay, on one hand we have the like the quote unquote hate campaign against Swaby Incorporated. On the other hand, here we have the oh, we're not racist for our racist hiring practices. You're just a bunch of racists yourselves. You're just projecting. Clearly, this is the case. uh, okay, camera doesn't like it when I have my hoodie. Detect my eyes, you piece of shit. Camera, come on. Animate the eyes. You will recognize the eyes. Yeah, we've seen this screencast before from this cunt. It's just like I saw this one before. I just stopped taking y'all seriously when y'all start running around saying white people can experience racism because I did not suffer through 2020 for y'all to act like you weren't an ally to BLM 4 years later. It's this cunt again, and I wouldn't be surprised if this fine, fine, upstanding African American male that isn't maybe getting some crazy pussy on the side to run interference. Yeah, Five Guys, part two, if you will. Tisk, tisk, tisk. Circling the wagons, yeah, and this is him on the twatters running interference. People calling a black woman building a studio with all people of cunts, racist, and equating it to a white man starting an all white studio is wild. If the power imbalances that actually exist in reality were different, sure, there is no way these things are equivalent. This is, of course, ignoring that white men start studios all that are all for mostly white men all the time and no one cares. Or maybe these, here's a thought. Maybe these studios of white men actually want to make a game that will sell and make money. So they make a good game to make money. Just a thought. Worst case scenario is that this is a result of trauma, not a desire for exclusion, and definitely not supremacy. Context is completely ignored in all these discussions as valid self-preservation tactic for black people, not a way to gain power over others. Bull fucking shit, you communist fuck. Okay, all these cuntsuckers have read Alinsky's Rule for Radicals. I swear to God, they have like chapter 1 of Rules for Radicals like tattooed somewhere on the body. I swear to fucking God. I got a mental note. I'm on the books to do a collab with Empraise whenever she gets back to streaming about if I can blank on his name. Bezmenov. Do a collab with Empraise about Bezmenov, but after that, there I should probably put in the queue about Alinsky. Because I know they're not teaching kids anything in schools these days, and it takes like the old anti-communist fucks to teach the next generation before we all die off. He says before he's even 40. Come on, as a coronary, put me on my misery. Oh god, this game developer admits the game industry is making games to cater to alphabet soup agenda. Color me surprised. Color me fucking surprised. Game developer Ed Fear. Should I make a list of this here to avoid two? The former game lead at Mediatonic Games, the studio behind Fall Guys, took the social media to declare the video game industry is making games to cater to the alphabet soup agenda. Again, I am shocked. Shocked. Shocked, I tell you. Fear wrote on X, according to UK's census, 21% of UK games. Okay, immediately in the garbage. This is about the UK. Industry identifies as alphabet soup. Not surprised. That's 3 times higher than the UK average. That's 2% as non-binary, 5 times higher, 3% as trans, 3 times higher. He added, we're making games that represent us. If you want non-woke games, make them your fucking selves. We will, and we will put you out of business, because ours will actually sell. Aha! Free market, bitch! And a follow-up he posted, it's worth saying that while alphabet soup people are wonderfully overrepresented, I absolutely recognize we still have a lot to do in terms of race, gender, socioeconomic classes, etc. Imagining what games we'll be making when that's better. I imagine they'll be shit. Just gonna put that out there. It's a safe bet, I know. And he just goes on and on to self-prostulate that and huffing his own farts. But it's kind of like, okay, you're cherry picking bad statistics. Like, again, I've said this a million times and stuff. I don't trust stats. I don't trust polls and stuff because they're garbage in, garbage out. And he's picking the worst garbage that's coming out of the numbers machine and stuff. It's like, look, we're overrepresenting an underrepresented, it's like, segment of the market. Yes, I call that bad business. That's not how you make money. It's like you go for your bang for your buck. Okay, you put out something that most larger audiences Well, like Hololive, Japanese companies in general, take note. The Western market has money. They don't want woke shit. Just offer your products. Simple as. I don't know where I was going with that. That's that. Ah, yes. Okay. I should add. Do I have it? No, I don't. God damn it. Mental note. Actually, I'm going to write this down because I'm going to forget. Add anthem, Canadian anthem to soundboard. Add net anthem to soundboard. I got the communist one, so I may as well have communist Mark II. Wait. Government-owned Canadian Broadcasting Company joins Sweet Baby Incorporated its misinformation campaign. Okay, so the long story short, this is on Radio Canada, and pretty much much like Gamergate 1. I swear to God, it was kind of wild. It was wild seeing Gamergate mentioned on the CBC back in the day, and it's kind of wild seeing it now again. And it's just like, okay, my tax money is clearly being well spent, clearly. And let's see. Matt Galloway in the current, when Matt Galloway show as part of the CBC list and ran misinformation about Sweet Baby Incorporated, does as a company while refuting brief snippet of YouTuber Ryan Cannell accurately portraying what the company does. In the clip, the program shared by ex-Lunar archivist Galloway states there's a new conspiracy theory gaining ground that gaming in the game world is centered around Montreal-based video game company Sweet Baby Incorporated. And according to believers, including Elon Musk, the small 16-person Canadian company is trying to radically change the video game industry as part of their fucking mission statement on their goddamn website. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is reality. I identify with Vivian James in this comic. Oh shit, here we go again. Eden shares a clip from Ryan Kindle saying the controversy started when the Sweet Baby Incorporated. Fuck it, we all know this shit. Actually, no, wait. I'm gonna finish this because okay, we know what's going on, but here's a coming from the other side of the wagons they're circling themselves. The controversy started when Sweet Baby employees, a woke consulting company whose sole mission is to push agenda of any games got their hands on. They're all about diversity, equity, inclusion. They lay that out. They say they want to take over the industry. They hate white, straight, male gamers. Galloway claims it's not true. In reality, Sweet Baby Incorporated is hired by the video game companies to consult on stories to help write diverse characters, including, for example, the Miles Morales character in most recent Spider-Man game, who's black. I have issues with Miles Morales, but that's for another day. After playing clip of Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Galloway claims the Sweet Baby Incorporated is a victim. Now, Sweet Baby is a victim of a giant organized harassment campaign, and gaming insiders say harassment shows just how toxic part of the gaming culture still are. They need and they need a warning this toxicity has real world consequences. Read the government involvement we covered before. Gamers and non gamers alike need to pay attention to. Yes, let's give Big Daddy government all the more reason to crack down. Yes, clearly. Clearly, that's the end goal. Of course, they're just the long short of the interview was just all the same fluff pieces we've seen so far in all these this round of gamers are dead article going around. Like I say, like I've commonly referred to as circling the wagons. That's what they did last time. That's what they're doing this time. And they're not really fooling anyone because we've seen this before. Okay, well, they're probably going to confuse the soccer moms like last time, but then again, that's shooting fish in the barrel if we're being honest. Blah blah blah. Reviews, and everything we've seen before. Yada yada yada. That Park Place, I love you because you can just show everyone this one article and they'll have context for everything. But my God, it makes pulling out new stuff pain in the ass sometimes. Continuing on with the Sweet Baby Incorporated. Report: Sweet Baby Incorporated ruined A44 games Flintlock, Siege of Dawn, race swap main character, and made other significant DEI changes. So again, Sweet Baby Incorporated say like, oh, we're not influencing the gaming industry, and yet shit like this comes out saying like, oh yeah, we totally rewrote the storyline and changed the main character, but we're totally not influential, guys. Yeah, we're just a small, small independent company, consulting company. Please understand. It's like, fuck off, shit like this. So this is coming from Cabrutus, the man himself, the fucking Brazilian himself. Announce the game's inclusion in the next round. Hey guys, add another game to a curator list. Actually, what he has to say is actually pretty funny. The game's called Flintlock Siege of Dawn. It shows in this physical copy and in Edge of the Edge magazine. It involves Kim Blair, Sweet Baby Incorporated CEO. I have waited a bit before deciding to add this one because Dev from Flintlock, this is the important part, Dev from Flintlock reached to me through my mail stating that they eradicated the SBI part and basically remade it completely. He continued, at this point, together with my staff, I've decided to give them a chance and prove this, allowing us access to the game pre-release and asking their manager to have a conversation with me. They openly refused both parts, leaving me without any way to confirm what they were telling us. This doesn't speak well about them, so yeah, new game on the list. Yeah, so Cabrutus pretty much gave them the time of day. It's like, okay, you say this one thing, prove it, and then they block them. It's just like, well, that tells us everything. Oh god. Mark Kern puts in his 2 cents. Actually, this is pretty interesting. Let's see. So I'll start at the beginning with Kern. Proof Sweet Baby Incorporated ruins games. SBI game Flintlock at 44 games overrun by woke. I used to work there. Flintlock was a good project, lost potential, then it was ruined. Kern continued. Before I go further, please note this rumor is from a source that seems to be very knowledgeable about the studio's inner workings. Take that as it is. If others would like to verify, please DM me and on. CEO and COO of A44 are no longer with the company, but that damages the seems to rails off. I'm not going to bother looking at it. But here's the fun part. Did you know that the protagonist of Flintlock used to be white? When the COO and casting director Andrea Tops Harjo joined the studio, her first action were to change the character to hire a Sweet Baby Incorporated and change the main character to a POC. This marks the beginning of the end, I assume. So it's just like, and it just goes on and on and on. And the comment on it, so it's just like, okay, so apparently we have receipts that the total changes were made. And it's just like in the woke fight, and it's just like any such cases. Not, it's like again, not really helping things out. Saying it's just like, oh yeah, it's my independent company. Hey, so there's that. Okay, this is not exactly Sweet Baby related, but given how Gamergate 2 is on the swing, I figure I would talk about Kotaku since this here just came across and I find it funny. Kotaku editor-in-chief Jen Glennon resigns. Kotaku editor-in-chief Jen Glennon announced that she resigned from the website a little over 2 weeks after the outlet's Alyssa Mercante lied about video game consulting company Sweet Baby Incorporated. Of course, we're tying it back to that, of course. Then I posted next on personal news. I've resigned from Kotaku, and Jim Spanfeller, man, that's an unfortunate name, is a herb. Jim Spanfeller, CEO of Geo Media, the company that owns Kotaku, as for Glennon calling him a herb, it's a derogatory term that means worthy of being mocked, weak, chumpish, and generally to be avoided according to Urban Dictionary. Oh my god, I'm not the only person on the internet that still uses Urban Dictionary. Man, I feel old. As for why Glenn resigned, Aftermath's Gita Drexen and Riley McLeod claim after viewing her resignation letter was due to management team's recent decision to deprioritize news in favor of guides. Ah, yes, taking the IGN approach. How did that work out for them? Haha. Yeah, so it looks like the company was having restructuring stuff, and she was just like, "Nah, I'm out." It's like, peace. So, I don't know. Not really that big of a news, but I found it amusing that Kotaku gets mentioned. Kotaku starts making the rounds again, and then like their editor in chief just bails. I find it funny. It is funny to me. Also funny to me. Report: over 50 game developers took part in organized scream at a game developers conference. The screaming lefty meme will never not be old, and this is very appropriate. A report claims that over 50 game developers attended the game developers conference, took part in organized public scream. Because that's a perfectly healthy thing to do, I guess. According to IGN's, hey, speaking of devil, IGN's Rebecca Valentine, this organized public scream was called GDS Scream. It was organized by Scott John Segal and Cheryl Shaw and took place in the middle of the Yerba Buena Gardens. So many names. Segal informed Valentine the purpose of the scream was to have a moment of feeling good, a moment of camaraderie. My fingers reaching over to the Soviet national anthem. I'm going to avoid it this time. And a moment of just fully acknowledging how messed up everything is and acknowledging that we're all here at this event pretending everything's fine. It can't be a constant topic of conversation, but it feels like there needs to be just one moment of just letting it out. Motherfucker, you cunts are some of the reasons why we're in this situation. It's like, man, I know I rag on communists left, right, and center, but self-reflection is just a completely and utterly alien concept, much like basic economics to these people. And it's just them circle jerking of like, why did I scream? And it's just like all stupid little shit. Stupid little inconsequential shit. Like, look at this. Apparently one person was like, I'm screaming because I was just a really good, valuable, much appreciated GEC session and I absolutely hated. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. Just hearing that this even took place, I'm just like, I know they're mentally deficient, but just having like confirmation of it is just like, it's sad. It's just sad. Speaking of that, my one token geology article. Push for ESG price premiums may reshape global critical minerals markets. This article is mostly a case study on a mining company in Australia. But the long and short of it is, I've talked about this before, in that it doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what the commodity is. Uh, certain how do I put this? Certain producers, read China, will put stuff out cheaper because they don't give a fuck about the environment. They don't give a fuck about human rights. They don't give a fuck. They will rape and pillage and put shit out cheap. And the only way that you can compete with that is, spoiler alert, you can't. Because every Western nation wants to be like, oh, we're for the environment, the ESG stuff. And it's like, all green hippie crap and stuff. And because of that, you pay a premium if you like commodities. In this case, the article is talking about nickel, but it doesn't matter. You can substitute nickel with anything. Because if you buy shit from a Western developer, you're going to be paying a premium because they are subject to all these environmental laws. So so much like everything else, the company will pay it, but they'll pass on the buck to the consumer. So you're going to be paying a premium if you buy Western, as opposed to going to China and buying shit cheap. This goes for everything, but also goes for commodities and stuff. But the fact of the matter is, with this here knowledge in mind, there are still some people who are like, yeah, we should be paying a premium. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. It's like, you are a fucking insane retard. I'm sorry, but you are a fucking insane retard. It's like, no wonder shit's shutting down. Is you can't fucking compete because they're putting everything like China and their buddies are putting everything out on the market, flooding the market at fire sale prices, and you just can't compete with that because you just can't. Even if you were to play their game stuff, like, you just can't. because you have all the red tape on top of whatever jurisdiction you're mining in. It's so fucking stupid. I do like this line. It's like, but this type of premium isn't helping Australian nickel miners, and is deliberately imposing an ESG premium that would be a different story. The main challenge is defining what an ESG compliant actually means. Again, we all know since day one, the ESG was a scam and stuff, but it's going to be sticking. It's going to, even though ESG on Wall Street is still verboten and stuff, it's going to take a while for it to flush out the system, because even though it's verboten, like from the higher ups and stuff, like a lot of these companies are big ass ships, and it's going to take it's going to take a while to like re-steer the ship and stuff. So again, it's going to take a while to flush out the system, but I consider ESG now and going forward for the next little while. ESG is going to be I've said this before. ESG is the equivalent of organic food. Okay, it doesn't mean shit. It's a marketing term. That's all it ever was. There's no legal reason for it, and like no penalties for quote unquote breaking the organic law, or in this case breaking the ESG compliant thing. It's like it's all fugazi. It's all fairy dust. So that's that. I just found it funny and stuff. It's just like my industry's gonna have to deal with this for a while now. It's like it's disgusting. Speaking of disgusting, woke mind virus causes anxiety and depression. New study reveals. This one's from Finland, not the UK for once. New study from psychological researchers in Finland, published in the Scandinavian Journal of Psychology. Well, given the high level of suicides in Scandinavia, find positive correlation between the individual's commitment to social justice belief, including intersectionality, anti-racism, and wokeness, and experiencing a life full of anxiety and depression. Oh my god. These people saying that the world's going to end left, right, and center are always angry, sad, and depressed, and suicidal, and trannies, and everything. It's just like, these are miserable people? Color me fucking surprised. I have an half hour and I'm going for my antacid. Pepsid AC, go down the right hole, please. Fucking Pepsid AC pills are like barely bigger than my beta blocker pills, and yet they always find a way to get stuck in my throat. That's what you get for not having a sugar coating. As I throw the package on the floor. All right, back in chair. As the woke mind virus spreads like cancer across Western nations, there is new concern about developing mental health crisis. Oh, we are long past that, there, son. We're long past that. This is because the study titled Construction and Validation on a Scale of Assessing Critical Social Justice Attitudes finds the elevated risk of anxiety and depression in the Finnish population who practice the so-called woke religion. Agreed. Actually, it's this here series of pictures is really emblematic of it. It's like fine. Okay, somewhere something went wrong. What could have been? Going over the history of the woke virus, study numbers, which university was done in. I'm sure there's a longer report with the more numbers breakdown, but long and short is that I'm not surprised to hear this. Again, I file this study under, like, I know researchers need to make money and stuff, but it's just like it's one of those kind of like duh things. It's like, yes, all the woke NPCs are a bunch of miserable cunts. Yes, give me grant money. I'll do it cheap. A A reminder: this is the American election year. Google denies election interference after report cites dozens of instances of helping Dems censoring Republicans. Google has denied a new report by the right-leaning Media Research Center alleging 41 instances of election interference since 2008. According to the report, Google has utilized its power to help push electoral victory in the most liberal candidates while targeting opponents for censorship. We've seen this a million times. We saw this in 2016. We saw this in 2020. We're going to be seeing this more over the summer. Yeah, talking about Hillary Clinton. Yeah, that I remember that. I remember Google running interference for Clinton, running interference for Barack Obama. Yep, I remember this. Okay, yeah. So just for context, this is the Obama awarding himself meme, in that Google investigated itself and found Google did nothing wrong. And of course, we know they did shit wrong and stuff because, of course, we had the WikiLeaks back in the day, and for those of you who remember the Podesta emails, like the Hillary Clinton email scandal and all that shit and stuff, all that shit got leaked. And of course, and we've had many instances since then of, like, of course, uh, the powers that be are in bed with the tech media and stuff, which is why Washington and all the powers that be fucking hate Elon Musk, because he doesn't play ball when it comes to Twitter and stuff, and that's just gonna ramp up the closer we get to election day. do 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 do. Okay, I've talked about this before, but again, as with everything else, I will repeat it until the death of the universe because it's actually important. High schoolers are losing confidence in the benefits of a college degree. We've covered this before. It comes down into terms of, it's not like college degree back before I was born or even when I was younger and stuff. Like I saw the beginning of the end when it came to post secondary education when I was in school, because most of my friends went for computer science majors, and I was the only one who went for something else. Literally, out of my circle of friends, everyone went computer science, and I was the only one who decided to go just straight up science, in my case geology. And out of school, when we all got out of school, I was the only one with a job, because uh, my friends, when they graduated and stuff, so did millions of other students. Because when I was when we were in high school and stuff, like, computers are the future. Computers are the future. Everyone going to computer science. Everyone go to computer science. And what happens when everyone goes to computer science? You flood the market, and then and your degree becomes fucking worthless. And nowadays, on top of that, on top of flooding the market with useless degrees, and more in the context here is, liberal arts majors, like your gender studies degrees, your African studies, like all the studies degrees and stuff are fucking worthless. But also, like the touching on the woke mind virus and stuff. If you have like if you go to a certain college that has a reputation for being woke pieces of shit and stuff, you're not going to get fucking hired. Because we covered the fallout of the anti-Semitic congressional hearing, and all the fallout from that, Claudine Gay and all that shit and stuff. And it's just like, okay, well, if you're spending money on tuition and stuff, that's going to those assholes and stuff. And of course, those high level Ivy League colleges and universities and stuff end up having like their value. Like, you have to remember, post-secondary education, like all these institutions, their value comes from their reputation. If their reputation is in the shitter, then your degree, by association, literally by association, your degree is in the shitter. And this is why I do have hope for the next generation and stuff, because the kids, like generation out, like younger Zoomers and the upcoming Gen Alpha and stuff, like they see how worthless this shit is, and as much as they're having to grow up with modern social media and all that stuff, a good chunk of them actually can still sniff out bullshit, and it's actually and hurt. What's the word I'm looking for? Not inspiring, not enlightening. Fuck, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm having a brain fart. It gives me hope. It gives me hope that they're recognizing this bullshit and stuff. And so it's like high schoolers losing confidence in the benefit of college degree, and just going over all the points I've covered and stuff. This article is mostly just springboard for my talking point. And I don't know. I have hope. Not all Zoomers. Hashtag not all Zoomers and hashtag not all Generation Alpha. I really hope that Generation Alpha lives up to the meme. Where was I? Do 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 do. There we go. Much like the one mandatory geology article, there's also the one mandatory COVID article. Report criticizes catastrophic errors of COVID lockdowns, warns of repeat. The devil, you say? It was 4 years ago in March 2020 that health officials declared COVID-19 a pandemic, and America began shutting down schools, closing small businesses, and restricting gatherings and travel and other lockdown measures to slow the spread of the virus. And we all know how that turned out. To mark that grim anniversary, a group of medical policy experts released a report called COVID Lessons Learned. Spoiler alert, no lessons were learned. These are going to go unheeded. They knew exactly what, again, the powers that be knew exactly what they were doing. Okay? It was all by design. So there's no lessons to learn because everything had a purpose. We had to assess the government response to the pandemic. According to the report, that response includes a few notable successes along with a litany of failures that have taken a severe toll on the population. During the pandemic, many governments across the globe acted in lockstep to pursue authoritative policies in response to the disease. Blah blah blah. Yeah, all this rigmarole, we've covered it. We've all lived it, and we've all saw it with our lying eyes and our lying ears. We went through all this here stuff, and I don't really get the point of this report of saying like it's like, okay, we can do better next time. It's like, no, I don't want them to do better next time. I don't want them to learn. I want them to fuck up as badly as they did last time. Like the COVID crackdowns measures red pilled the world over so many people. If they ever do that again and stuff, I don't think the powers that be will survive. Okay? I really don't. If they try that shit again, people are like even like the most brain dead retard. If they try this shit again and stuff, it'll still be in recent enough memory, and they'll be like, wait a minute, they did this before and it didn't work. Oh, like even the most inbred hick is going to realize this. Now the latte sipping uh, champagne socialists, on the other hand, I'm sure they'll welcome it with open arms again. But at least the study does get down to the point of a pretext to enhance their power. No shit. Board also challenges narrative. Most hospitals were overrun by surgical cases. Spoiler alerts, they weren't. They had to do layoffs because people. Okay, just a reminder. There was never a surge overrun of COVID cases in hospitals. There were less people going to hospitals because people were scared shitless, and because of that, there were a lot of hospitals had to do layoffs. Okay, they weren't hurting for people; they were doing layoffs because people were staying away. And it's just like, eh, ich. But This is one of those. This is one of those southern bless their hearts. The closing here. Bless their hearts for what the closing statement is. Is the CTUP report recommends the Congress and state legislators set strict limitations and power conferred to the executive branch, including health officials, and set time limits that require legislation to be extended. This will give the public a voice in the health emergency measures through their elected representatives. Ha! It further recommends that research grants should be independent of policy positions and that the NIH funding should be decentralized or block granted to states to distribute. Congress should mandate public disclosure of all FDA, CDC, and NIH discussions and decisions, including statements of any persons who provide advice to these agencies. Congress should also make explicit CDC guidance is advisory and does not constitute law or mandates. The report also recommends the United States immediately halt negotiations with agreement with the WHO until satisfactory transparency and accountability is achieved. And to all these proclamations, I say, good fucking luck. It's like the powers that be knew what they were doing. They'll do it again. And they're not going to take any of these recommendations because there was no oopsies. It was all intentional. And I'm not on YouTube this time, so they can't strike my channel for medical misinformation. Okay, I like this one. This is a long informational essay, but I'll kind of summarize it up. Cereal for peasants: how elites use skimpflation to control our eating habits. People who have been so this is from Brandon Smith. I read the L market a lot, usually via Zero Hedge because no. What's the main point I want to put out? Where is it? Okay, yeah. So, the concept of shrinkflation has made the rounds, but this essay is bringing attention to the other end of the equation, which is skimpflation. Now, the long and short of skimpflation is that not like shrinkflation is portion, skimpflation is quality. Okay, so you got quantity from shrinkflation is quantity, but skimpflation is quality. In that, to satiate their companies to satiate their bottom line, not only are they going to give you less stuff at the old price or even inflated price, the stuff you're going to be getting is of lower quality. That goes for food, vehicles, electronics, and stuff, like made in China. That's the joke. Made in China, it's cheap shit. It's that kind of rationale. Talking about eating the bugs, living in the pods, and of course, yeah, I remember. I didn't cover this when it made the rounds, but I did read about it. So I'll just read this out for those who won't get the reference. Another form of skimflation is a shift even further to the bottom of the food pyramid. Recently, Kellogg's CEO Gary Plinick suggested in an interview with CNBC that Americans will eventually start eating cereal for dinner because the cost is so much cheaper proportion. In other words, cheap processed carbs will become the mainstay of American diet because a lot of people won't be able to afford anything else. Plinick brags that Kellogg's is well placed in this coming change in the food market. Yes, it's not like this asshole. It's not like this asshole has a self-vested interest in this. Yeah, of course, totally, no vested interest in this mentality. But it does strike on the point. And I kind of scroll past this here, but this here this here meme, not from the World Economic Forum, but they're really seriously considering it. But this here joke is 2030 food pyramid: antidepressants, soy milk, bugs, seed oils, microplastics. It's like, yep. Spoiler alert, we're already there. So I don't know. So yeah, just overall bring attention to it. Like again, not only is your dollar worth less, you're getting less stuff. The less stuff you're getting is worse crap. I mean, fun little story. Uh, I've been aware of shrinkflation and like all these inflations. I've been familiar with these for years and stuff, and I just had a funny little reminder of it. I recently got a pack of saltines, well, premium plus, uh, salt crackers. And it's kind of funny. It's kind of funny when companies do shrinkflation of the amount of stuff you get. Like in this case, the number of crackers in the package is less than before, and they can't exactly hide that because even though they put less crackers in the package, they didn't change the package to be smaller, so you don't notice. So you have the cracker package, and like a good chunk of it is just like dead air when not too long ago it was filled to the top. So you know what they did is they removed the crackers, but they didn't adjust the size of the package. So it's kind of funny seeing little reminders of that. It's like, all right, that's a thing. Fuck my life. Fuck all our lives, really. Oh god. Yeah, this one's for Porian. I've changed my mind. The Swedish Open Borders Member of Parliament takes a complete U turn. Swedish MP who advocated for open borders during the 2015 refugee crisis says she has completely changed her mind and now wants to see a significant number of deportations. I wonder what changed. Louise Major, a lawmaker with the now governing moderate party, previously took a stand for openness, supported the refugee welcome mantra, but now wants to pull the drawbridge completely. But I've changed my mind on the matter, she told Expressen, adding she now supports the even stricter migration policy than the one I opposed at the time. The change that Sweden has undergone and undergoing fundamentally changes the country, said Mayor, noting the mass immigration has been followed by several major problems. Who could have foreseen this? Oh, I know. Her opponents. Last time. Specifically, she pointed to the fact that serious organized crime is committed to a large extent by people with foreign assets. I almost said accents. Assets. That new arrivals are not self sufficient, and the culture of honor, separatism, and Islamism is limiting and dangerous. Mayor asserted that integrating large numbers of migrants has been a total failure for Sweden and for integration to where people who both want to move here and who already live here need to adapt to Swedish society and our values. She's now calling for a strict limit on migration in the near future and dedicated herself to ensuring that the country begins a large deportation campaign. You need to work, speak Swedish, and do your duty before you demand your rights. Those who do not want to adapt and integrate should not stay in Sweden either. Deportation or repatriation, dark English, should then be a real option, said Mayor. After being one of, if not the safest country in Europe, Sweden now records the second most bombings of any country not at war besides Mexico. Damn, how embarrassing. Violence and criminality caused by migrant gangland violence is so chronic. Last year, Swedish Prime Minister met with the head of the military to try to formulate a plan to deal with it. Riots and civil unrest have become commonplace. In 2021, Germany's Bild newspaper ran the headline, Sweden, the most dangerous country in Europe. I remember when that made the rounds, and that pissed off a lot of people. Yeah, a 2018 report also found that 99 of 112 gang rapists in Sweden had a foreign background. Who could have foreseen that one? When veteran Swedish police investigator Peter Springer was asked about the demographics of those responsible for violent crimes, he didn't mince his words. Here we go. This is what I've handled from Monday to Friday this week: rape, robbery, aggravated assault, assault, and rape, extortion, blackmail, assault, violence against police, threats to police, drug crimes, drugs, crime, felony, attempted murder, rape again, extortion again, and ill treatment, he wrote. Suspected perpetrators: Ali Mohammed, Muhammad Ali, again and again and again. Christopher, what? Is that true? Yes, a Swedish name snuck in on the edges of the crime. Muhammad Ali, again, he added. Diversity proven to be our greatest strength yet again. Uh, oh yes, I should have moved this year closer to the election one. So, evidence of foreign national. So, I remember this happening at the time. Evidence of foreign nationals accessing Dominion voting machines leaked to public. A defamation lawsuit between Dominion Voting Systems and former Overstock.com CEO and Donald Trump supporter Patrick Bryan has descended into chaos after one of Bryan's attorneys leaked evidence that foreign nationals remotely accessed voting machines and used in Michigan in 2020 elections. Safe and secure. Yes, totally. The leak evidence has been floating around social media for about the last week. The evidence includes emails between Dominion workers about voting machines being accessed remotely from people in Kosovo and elsewhere. What a shock. It wasn't clear whether the emails were authentic at first, but the Dominion apparently this is fun, this is the fun part that made me laugh out loud. But Dominion apparently confirmed the evidence when it notified a presiding judge about the leak in the filing on Friday. The attorney who leaked the evidence, Stephanie Lambert, also now been arrested over the matter. I find this funny. So this Stephanie took the fall. God bless her soul. She leaked the thing. So it's so funny. She leaked the papers, and because of that, the Dominion had to like effectively notarize it. So it's just like they shot down their own case. Oh my god, it's like judge is like, is it, so are these papers? Is like, are these leaks true? And it's like, yes. And it's just like, oh god, and going on and on and on and on. But it's just so funny. I it's, this is, I'm sorry, but this is just so fucking funny. It's just so funny to see whenever it happens. It's like, is this you? Yes. It's like, fuck. Oh god. They had to confirm that they like Dominion is like the Dominion is like Dominion is in court to, it's like, nah, these guys are saying like lies and slander against us, and then it leaks and it's just like, yeah, it's all true. And it's like, ah, fuck. Oh god. Okay, I covered this before, so the TLDR, Granny in Alaska got kicked out of Planet Fitness for calling out tranny man being in the women's locker room. So Planet Fitness kicked her out. So it looks like the pushback has begun, and it looks like there's calls for boycott Planet Fitness because, you know, much as everything else, don't fuck with kids and don't fuck with Granny. If you want to, it's like, hey, if you want a good PR, yeah, sure, let's pick on the little old lady who's just like, why is this man shaving and changing in the women's locker room? Like, this ain't right. It's like, Granny, I hate to break it to you, but it's current year. But the pushback has begun, and it's going to be slow and steady, and it looks like it's actually coming to a head. So approaching the 1 year mark since Bud Light's controversial partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney on TikTok, nationwide boycott of light beer, criticized tasting like piss water, has been relentless as blue collar and white collar conservative Americans stand up in unison, bounded by memes and the power of X to protest their distaste for woke propaganda pushed by mega corporations. To this day, conservatives are in the warpath against woke mind virus and infects high level executives of mega corporations who have learned absolutely nothing from Bud Light nuking Sullivan Mulvaney. The power of the people, folks, is beginning to understand this, and it's glorious. The day people understand this image, it's time to understand this image, everything changes. It's like it's the shark being eaten by a schoolfish. That is true. Uh, you know, it's kind of funny because like the communists are always like, you know, power to the people, but as soon as the people get the power, it's like, not that kind. It's like, no, not like that. Every single fucking time, it's just too fucking funny. Last week, American began boycott Tyson Foods for planning to fire at least 1,000 hardworking Americans, which company even said it was planning to hire 10,000 illegals through shadow non-government organization. So fuck Tyson Food too. Fast forward this week, Americans are boycotting Planet Fitness as more moved to defend the decision to ban membership of a customer in Alaska who spoke out about a man in a woman's locker room shaving. Since Lib's TikTok post went viral, shares of Planet Fitness have plunged 14%. Ha. This comes Planet Fitness boycott calls increased by the day. And Twitter. When will these woke executives learn to catering to a fringe minority rather than the majority will only result in blowback of customers? Which index firm is going to create the woke index? Oh boy. It's like don't give Larry Fink ideas. He did enough damage the first time around. Don't give him new ideas. Sniffles. Yes, the other COVID-19 article. COVID-19 infection increases the risk of autoimmune disease up by 30%, according to a study. And this study is from, I'm just out of curiosity, Annals in Internal Medicine. National data claims over 10 million Korean and 12 million Japanese patients. Okay, so this is in Korea and Japan. Curious. So, long story short, there is there's a noticeable uptick of. We've covered this a million times, and there are many different permutations of like reproduction issues, hormonal issues, fucking hearing issues, so immune system issues. Not terribly surprising on top of everything else. Just throw it on top of the pile of everything else of totally normal bat flu. Yeah, totally came from a wet market. Yeah, sure. So that's that. And coming in from Scotland, Scottish police trained to target actors and comedians under hate crime laws. I would shed a tear, but we already have that in Canada, so good luck. Police in Scotland are being trained to target actors and comedians under new hate crime laws set to be activated next month, reports the Herald, citing leaked police documents. Training material obtained by the outlet states the content deemed to be threatening and abusive under hate crime and public order can be communicated through public performances of a play. It's live from the league training material titled Stirring Up Hatred also lists protected characteristics including age, disability, religion, sexual orientation, and transgender identity. I remember back in the day where that was folded into the previous thing. That's its own thing. My, how times have changed. In other words, under First Minister Uffe. Yeah, that sounds like a Scottish name. You allow any performer who, for example, misgenders trans people, jokes about race or religion, or even criticizes migrants, can potentially be prosecuted. Oh, I'm sure if you make fun of white Catholics, I'm sure that'll get a pass. Training material further states that even those forwarding or sharing materials deemed to be hateful can also be targeted under the law. EU tried to ban memes before. They'll do so again. Scotland's taking up that torch. States different ways in which a person may communicate material to another person are by displaying, publishing, or distributing material, for example, on a sign, on the internet, through websites, blog, podcasts, social media, etc., either directly or by forwarding repeated material that originates from a third party through printed media such as magazines, publications, or leaflets. So essentially, retweeting Dave Chappelle or Ricky Gervais skit like the one below could land you with a hate crime criminal charge in Scotland. Yep, pretty much. And going on and on and on. So, we get the gist. It's just like, burn it all, I say. Just burn it all. It's not worth saving. It was a good run. Speaking of evidence of it being a good run and that it's completely and utterly over, well, in terms of it being over, that is. Drag queen feted by Kamala Harris accused of multiple sexual assaults. Who could have foreseen this coming? A drag star feted by Kamala Harris at the Biden White House and Vice President's residence has been accused of multiple sexual assaults between 2012 and 2020. Fucking hideous. There's a fucking demon. Slaanesh has manifested upon the prime material plane. Begone, demon. Darius Jeremy, DJ Pierce, better known as Shangela, ugh, has appeared in numerous television series and best known for competing on RuPaul's Drag Race and Dancing with the Stars. The accusations are described in sordid detail in the Rolling Stone expose from the Rolling Stone of all places. Color me surprised. Following a 16-month investigation researching the allegations, reviewing court documents, and interviewing several accusers. The report featured 5 people who accused Pierce of sexually assaulting them or attempting to have sex with them while they were too inebriated to consent. The rapist strikes again. I'll take the rapist for 500. The alleged offenses took place over a period of 6 years in Louisiana, Texas, California, and the United Kingdom, and sometimes involved a second assailant, according to the Rolling Stone investigation. 3 of the 5 accusers, who ranged in ages at the time of alleged assaults from 18 to 23, said they were aspiring drag queens at the time. So he's a gay rapist. In a letter to Rolling Stone, Pierce's lawyer, Andrew Brettler, denied all accusations of sexual assault, calling the allegations false and unsupported by any evidence or reliable witness testimony. Well, I guess it's not hashtag believe all women, considering these are dudes in question, but, equal rights, what are those? And just going over other examples, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah. Raping tranny. And the fucking hyena herself. What a shock. I'm shocked that these turn of events. I am not shocked. Oh, God, this one. Okay. I'm going to read this one verbatim, and I'm going to need some strength. Raise your hands to the skies, people. Give me your energy. Give me the spirit bomb to get through this retardation. Okay, for those of you who remember when I read the article way back when of weathering, this is more of the same. It's stupid then and stupid now. Oh, God. Give me strength. Ugh. Study says interpersonal racism linked to heart problems in black women. Interpersonal racism might lead to higher rates of coronary heart disease. It's like, evidently eating KFC is not enough for these people. According to a recent study, but a health scholar who spoke to the College Fix questioned the findings. Perceived experiences of interpersonal racism in employment and housing and with the police were associated with higher incidence of coronary heart disease among black women. The study from Boston University, of course, the fucking Boston, epidemiologist Shanson Sheely concluded, however, perceived racism in everyday life is not associated with higher risk, Dr. Sheely wrote. She wrote the study published in the American Heart Association Journal with Michelle Albert, the most recent president of the group. The paper used data from nearly 50,000 black women beginning in 1997. The study found that after adjusting for multiple variables, the link between racism and heart problems was no longer statistically significant, meaning the connection could be explained by chance. She did not respond to 2 emailed requests for a comment on the paper, including claim racism is highly prevalent in America. Research director at Do No Harm said the extensive data set is the strength of the study, but there are many problems with its designs. Ian Kingsbury said the association of interpersonal racism is not significant when it comes to myocardial infarction in his email comments to the Fix. When it comes to coronary heart disease, Kingsbury said there is no association with self-reported racism in everyday life, but an association with self-reported discrimination in employment, housing, and interactions with police. There could be a confounding variable at play. Kingsbury said those reporting higher levels of racism in every day are more anxious and prone to conflict, and people with these personality traits have a higher incidence of coronary heart disease. It's called chill the fuck out. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. When asked about the strengths of this paper, Kingsbury said the paper connected data collected decades ago by contemporary health outcomes. Weakness includes overstating findings as well as lack of candor around the limitations of self reported racism as a measure of actual racism. He said the medical community should not use this paper. The results are unconvincing, he said, when other variables were taken into consideration. Kingsbury said it's unclear how the results could be actionable and said there is a growing view of doctors that people who can solve all the world problems. This often invites activism into medical training at the expense of technical expertise. This sounds a little familiar, don't you think? Other studies have tried to connect police interactions with health problems. For example, a University of Minnesota researcher found a correlation between police stops in a neighborhood and preterm births. However, the researcher, Rachel Hardiman, could not identify any woman who had an interaction with police and then had a preterm birth. Furthermore, black immigrant women had better pregnancy outcomes than even white women, according to the study. So again, the study did not prove their assertions. In fact, proved the opposite. Oh, many such cases. Always funny. That does not stop Hardman from blaming racism. These findings suggest that radicalized police patterns born from a history of racism in the United States may contribute to racial disparity. And Peter Bird, the Planned Parenthood board member, wrote, "Of course she fucking belongs to Planned Parenthood. Of course." Oh god. Okay, that didn't nearly infuriate me as much as the weathering article, but it's still a level of stupidity. It's just like everything is racist, everything is sexist, everything is this, everything is that, and you have to point it out. And if you have to point it out all the goddamn time, you are a miserable cunt. That's all it comes down to it. Eh. Hey, I made it an hour. Oh, very stuffy right now. Weather's changing back and forth like a non-stop cycle of freezing and thawing, and it's just also as a consequence a non-stop cycle of head colds. I gotta shove my driveway sometime this weekend because I got an appointment on Monday. I got an out of doctor's appointment on Monday, but it's in the morning, so I'll be back. I'll be back by the evening for the Monday news reading stream. Might be a little cranky from the drive, but I'll do it. I'll definitely be cranky tomorrow and Sunday when I shove my driveway. Fuck me. Can the snow fuck off? It's springtime. I know springtime doesn't mean shit here until fucking May and April. Thank you, Northern Canada. Uh, let's see. Still kind of feel like chit chatting. I don't know if I feel like turning into a chatting stream. If anyone wants to turn into a chatting stream, speak now or forever hold your peace. Take a peek in what's going on in Proctor's channel. Oh no. Oh no, Null is going on hiatus. Oh no. I can't believe Null is graduating. Oh god. Everybody's posting that Josh is going on hiatus. My god, the world revolves around the fat Florida man. Skimming. I don't read everything. I don't read much like the news. Much like the news articles that I cover and stuff. I tend not to read things verbatim. And that includes the forum and that includes Proctor server, Discord server. I tend to just kind of skim through things, get a general vibe of what's going on, and see if anything catches my attention. I mean, for fuck's sakes, Azahara today crawled out of his goon cave to start talking again. So, the small victories. Oh, Dana, Dana, Dana. Ah, okay. It looks like as of like a few minutes ago, apparently the bong is going live. I'm kind of curious. Is he actually live yet? Yes, he is. What the fuck is he saying?
He managed to muddy the waters horribly in that event, and a whole bunch of people on the Discord who had previously believed her document were listening to the live stream, and I was not able to fully listen to the live stream, and I have not had a chance to listen to the live stream yet. I
Fuck it.
came in
Fuck it.
about
We're
2 hours
we're
into the
stream
live
sniping.
stream,
Fuck it.
and within 10 minutes I was posting on the Discord that she needed to shut up because what she was saying just contradicted her own document, and the way she was talking was completely and totally unconvincing in every way. And so Lily went from having a very plausible argument that I genuinely believed when I first read her document. I believed she was fully telling the truth. I did not believe her emotional justification at the start of the document, but in context with the screenshots and everything, I believed her completely. I believed that she was assaulted. I believed that she had perfectly reasonable justification for it. I believed that she was scared into silence and so on. That all came across as convincing to me. But then, and I am a skeptical person, I am not on board the believe all women movement or anything, and I still had criticism for the way that she handled it. I felt that she was emotionally immature and she was very stupid for the way she acted. But I did believe her when she said that she had been assaulted. But then later on, after my stream, she went on a stream herself, and she began talking about this assault that took place. And the way that she talked about it just made no sense. It was very much a oh my goodness, what is wrong with me, and what is names at the moment? What was the name of that black footballer who said the MAGA country guy? Jesse Smollett, like Jesse Smollett. She sounded just like Jesse Smollett, honestly. She was talking about this thing that she claimed to be traumatized by in this really dull, kind of bored monotone. Yeah, guys, I was absolutely assaulted. Oh, look at this guy. Isn't he just terrible? He's not even willing to say that it was sexual assault. Oh dear, doesn't he realize what a trauma that he has put me through? It's disgusting. Oh dear. And that just made me think, no, sorry. It doesn't matter. You've lost the public eye. You've lost the public acceptance here. Just please stop. Just please stop talking. Please stop. She could have left it at the Twitter post, and everything would have been on her side. Oh, Jesse Smollett was a gay actor, not footballer. I'm sorry, I apologize again. These people kind of blend together in my head because they occupy that same mental cabinet of liars who have tried to get people on their side publicly through stupid activities.
Oh god.
And I didn't want to say anything yesterday about it because the stream was not archived, and Lily claimed that she would release the VOD of it later on. And I didn't get a chance to archive Lily's VOD, and I intended to make a whole thread on Torah. And I did not want to do it until I had a archive of Lily's VOD. Are we talking about Mizu's post again? Yeah, I've just gotten, Oko, I've just gotten to the point where Lily replies to this, the twed, the twed? Guys, I'm very sorry. It's coming up to full moon, and so I'm very much affected by the full moon for some reason. It always makes me more absent-minded and just a bit mentally stranger than normal, so I'm just randomly forgetting things sometimes. The moon gives me Alzheimer's, guys. The moon gives me Alzheimer's.
So Proctor is confirmed lunatic.
So we fortunately now have the VOD. The VOD is out there. It is currently there is a Google Drive of the VOD, and I have now converted the VOD into a fairly low quality MP3 because she doesn't use any like references or anything. She just talks about the accusation. She goes over she goes over Kura's document that he released, but I mean, she reads it aloud and everything, so there's no reason to have the video as well. So I've got a full copy of the VOD, and I have a MP3 of it, which is obviously far smaller. I think it's something like 20 megabytes or so. So now I can complete the thread maybe on Friday, because I have partially completed the thread already. But a thread about this whole load of nonsense will go live before the end of the week. No, that's just British people, I agree. Where can I find that MP3? I've not uploaded it yet. I will just go and check. Where did I put it exactly? Is it in my videos file? Yes, it is. It's LilyVod. Oh, it's still 116 megabytes. So let me see. Oh, I will see if I can upload it. This might mess up my stream, but I doubt it. Let me go to my drive.
Is Starlink is gonna crash?
Upload that to my drive.
Crash, Starlink, crash.
Kura archive, and this might affect my stream quality, but I doubt it. We'll see. If my stream starts dropping frames or anything, then tell me, but I don't think it will. So Murray, I will link you to that MP3 when I think I said MP5 earlier. No, it is not a
crashing the stream, leaving no survivors.
But I will link you to that archive as soon as it's done uploading in a couple of minutes. Yep, it's almost a quarter of the way done already, so that's good. But yes, Lily replied to the tweet that was put out by the Under the Tea podcast commenting about it. And she says, first off, I was not a fan. He was my friend for a year at that point. Your behavior is appalling. Get well soon. And then she posts this image here of showing results for is a kiss on the cheek sexual assault. Oh, wait. This actually is hilarious. Look at this. Look at this. She actually made a typo. Because it says, search instead for, is a kiss on the cheek sexual assault? That just adds a bit of spice to this whole nonsense cake. That's the cherry on the top of this Sunday here. That typo I just find hilarious. Sorry, I had to adjust my position. So she claims, basically, her entire argument is that she was sexually assaulted because typing in, is a kiss on the cheek sexual assault into Google search results in the National Sexual Assault Hotline popping up.
This is so retarded. I'm barely following it.
You can Google is empty blank sexual assault, and it will do the same thing. Yeah, precisely. This is exactly what the podcast replied under here. Yes, that popped up because you typed in the word sexual assault. A kiss on the cheek is not and will never be sexual assault. Your behavior has been appalling and demeaning to real victims of abuse. You mean the one, and here's somebody, Danny Darkcat, I don't see my story in this collection. Weird, isn't it? And again, you mean the one where everything was completely consensual and your only actual issue was the fact he didn't stay with you? Is he a scumbag for that? Yes. That's why we said he's a creep and a sex pest. But to be honest, you're mad you got dumped and that's all that happened. The following media contains potentially sensitive content. This woman has posted nudes on her account. I have no idea what this is. Sometimes Twitter can be a bit weird. So let me just check what she just posted here. It's probably just a meme, but I want to be careful. No, it's just this. Why? I don't know. Yeah, this woman, Yukihime, is another person that called out Taro and said, oh no, he was a terrible, dreadful person.
Taro Tard confirmed.
Yeah, she's posted nudes of herself on her own account. She has a post that says, "I'll post a nude every 500 likes that this initial nude gets." So yeah, she has absolutely no right to say that Taro was being creepy towards her when she is actively posting nude imagery of her own body on Twitter for creepy men. I mean, the audacity of these women is truly and genuinely astonishing to me.
I think Proctor
Can't
fit
wait
right in.
until you get to the lawyer who says you can revoke consent after it's over. It's all so tiresome. It is just so unbelievably tiresome. It's just a kiss on the cheek. She's acting like he beat the S out of her. I know. I mean, again, I think that Lily has full justification to feel bad about what happened to her because she was a young woman. She describes herself as introverted. She says this was the first time away from her parents. And her first experience away from her parents was to meet up with a man who she thought she was going to be intimate with, who then said, no, girl, I'm being with somebody else. Goodbye. So I can understand feeling really upset and really angry, and I think, honestly, if she had just said that, then the same result would have happened. Like, Tora would have been ousted by the community. He would have been probably cancelled. People would have said, hey, dude, that's not right, and he might have even deleted his account in the end
community.
Anyway. It is this stubborn insistence that she was assaulted, that something really dreadful and traumatic happened to her, when it very obviously didn't. There is absolutely no argument that it did. Unless Laser, like the guy that she says rescued her from Taro, comes out and says, no, I was there, he was on top of her, and he was kissing her, and it was dreadful, and I feared for Lily's safety. In that case, that reframes the narrative a bit, but as it stands, there is no reason to believe Lily at all. And it's just like I said in my original stream where I had that like disclaimer at the top of it, be community TM. I just wish people were slightly less hateful towards those whom they chose to have a relationship with. People seem to forget that after claiming she felt weird around him, she slept on the couch with him. That's actually a very good point, that after all this happened, she didn't leave the room, she didn't run away, she didn't try and have somebody, she didn't go and get a hotel room, or she didn't ask, say, Laser if she could sleep in his room and he slept on the couch. No, she went to sleep on the same couch with the guy she claims just dramatically sexually assaulted her. It makes no sense. It makes no damn sense at all. And the more she talks about it, the more ridiculous it gets. But honestly, everything that Lily is saying just pales into absolute insignificance. Because what spawned from this drama is this. It's the Akarui accusation. Everyone coming out with their side of the Torakura situation helped motivate me to write this.
I'll
this is my experience with Smooshified.
In my thread.
Content warning for pedophilia, sexual content, manipulation. Please be cautious. Now, do I have this saved? Yes, I do. Good. Because she has been caught live editing this document several times, and it was about, was it about 12 hours ago that I first caught it? I know that she had edited it at least slightly by that time, so I immediately, this is something that I want to emphasize to everybody. If you ever see any of these kind of things happen, always archive the Google document instantly. In fact, let me just put that on screen for a second.
Because I know WikiDog doesn't read my server, I'll just post into our group chat.
There, just to be absolutely clear, this is what you should do immediately. Whenever you see one of these V-tweeters come out with a document, remember, they can edit the document, and if you don't have editing privileges, you cannot see what they changed. Unless you are physically looking at the document at that time, they can change anything they like. That's why I save these documents, and I use versions that I've saved earlier to read out on stream, because when I go back, like hours later or even days later, they could very easily have changed stuff. That's why you should always archive them the moment you see them. According to her, she only realized this was sex assault after her Discord friends put it in her head. Yeah, exactly. And this, like with the Lily case, it's clear that she didn't even really think about it until much later on. And I'll actually
as a hero would know a thing or two about sex assault.
And I'll just move this around to up here. Archive everything. I agree. The go full page thing that I use, the attachment for Chrome and Brave, that's extremely useful. I use that on all the Twitter threads so that nobody can edit, delete, or block me, so that I can't see what they're fully doing. I've noticed I'm definitely getting attention in the indie VTuber scene because now I'm seeing blocks every so often when I try and look at various posts. It seems like quite a few seething V-tweeters have me blocked already, which I find highly entertaining. And somebody was saying, I'm very irritating. I find it very irritating. I am not on any lists yet. And it really frustrates me that all the people who are trying to get me on lists, like I know at least 2 V-tweeters have like added something like the VTuber block list or whatever it is. I can't get on that list yet because all of these V-tweeters are just absolute nobodies who are doing it for clout. So I have yet to successfully manage to get cancelled by anyone big, and it really frustrates me. Like it's almost as if like Kirsha's literal Who shield is rubbing off on me, that I can't seem to get noticed enough. Asihara has gotten cancelled. Asihara has gotten cancelled on Twitter, but I can't manage it. It's really depressing to me. I will not consider my success on the internet complete until I have been cancelled on Twitter. And it's really irritating that I've been doing my best to get cancelled and nobody is cancelling me. Okay, if you're an anti, if you're a Proctor anti out there, please cancel me, all right? Like, I'm begging you. I am begging you at this point. Like, call me up. We could work on the document together, okay? I am on cancelled. Right. Skill issue. Oh. Oh my goodness, I've just looked back at the Discord. Cubanodum says this is 53 pages of he is cheating on me. Oh my goodness, this is the revived... yeah, I think this is good Monday material, the revived Selene experience, because good grief, that document is 9 megabytes large. Oh my... You don't know how good it is to be unknown until your site's getting DDoSed every waking hour. I mean, yeah, that's true. Proctor, you were kind of cancelled with me since I follow you and you follow me. That's true, I suppose. But it's just not the same until I've been cancelled on my own terms, all right? It's just not the same. You have to experience it. It can't be somebody's sloppy cancellation seconds, okay?
The no true
Why am I
cancelling fallacy.
being mentioned in Pippa posting? Oh yeah, for those who don't know, I banned Redicule on the forum.
About damn time.
Because Redicule made yet another really creepy and disturbing post about Pippa. Let me just read it out. Let me just find it and put it on the thing for a second. Pippa is female, didn't he get...
I don't read the Pippa thread anymore, so this is legitimate news to me.
He posts so much. There it is. I found his post. 1 second. I'll just put it on screen before we get onto this. Because, yes, Redicule has now been banned. And this is the post that finally got him nuked. I just want to know everything of her meats as well as her mind. You do know you can converse while you measure each beautifully precious finger and feel the contour
doing this on his own very well.
Knuckle, seeing the glorious glisten of her nails and the loving shape of the pale satin palm. Okay, sorry, I'm gonna...
The reason why he banned Redicule is that he saw himself in them. Let's be real. Let's be honest.
Oh, somebody's gonna clip that, but I don't know, it was worth it. It was worth it. I'll just turn that text off for now. Yay, meat! Could you not read it like that? The audio version hits different. Look, I'm not trying to encourage anyone ASMR time. Please don't do that again. Oh, don't worry. There's some interesting parts of this new document that we're about to cover. And it's gone. Where is it gone? No. Oh, no. We get to that later. Okay, we get to that later.
You know, instead of being Proctor's co-host, I like doing this better because I can just roast him.
Check something very quickly.
Well, I roast him to his face anyway, but
we're good. We're good. Excellent.
So not really any difference if I'm being honest.
This is what I've dealt with during my time spent with Smoshified/Smunchified around October 2023, and all I've been dealing with afterwards. I truly believed that I loved him at the time, and that he felt the same way, leading me to ignore every single red flag that I saw. I was, and still am, extremely scared to post this, but the trauma has gotten worse the more I keep it private. I have constant flashbacks of everything he did with me. My stomach twists, and I feel nauseous, and everything's gotten so bad that it's begun to affect my sleep, health, and my ability to interact with others on a closer level. I was convinced that doing these things was what I wanted, and at the time, I had just wanted to do what I could to keep the attention and affection he was giving me, even if it meant being uncomfortable. Yes, woman moment. I've never written anything like this before, nor have I had to, so I apologize if this is poorly put together and all over the place. I was very afraid of posting this, because he seemed like a very kind individual even in DMs, and also because he may have saved sensitive photographs of me that I am afraid he would publicize in retaliation. Trying to find his messages that showed who he truly was, and even writing this now, I've broken down into tears and tremors, so much so that I had to be in a Discord call with my closest friends for emotional support. I don't even know if the screenshots and messages I have even count as evidence, which is why I haven't spoken up sooner until now. I used to raid his channel on Twitch, and he would be so kind whenever I did. Why? That's what initially drew me towards him and eventually developed a crush on him. Why? Raiding etiquette on Twitch and YouTube is that you thank and call out the person and shout out the person that joins your stream. You say nice things to them because they just did a nice thing to you.
The journalist.
Did they say, "Oh, I hope your day was nice. I really hope you have a good time. How was your stream?
Took her long enough.
Oh, it's really nice. Thank you so much for the raid. I really appreciate it. Everyone, go subscribe to such and such channel. Let me pin it for a while." Like, that's standard etiquette. Every good Twitch and YouTube person does that.
Yeah, if you're gay.
What have I been pinged for? How's writing up the Torah thing going? He's not even watching. I was 19. He was 34 at the start of our friendship/relationship. I initially told him I was 20 because I was afraid that he wouldn't want to talk to me if he knew I was younger, despite it only being 2 months until my 20th birthday. I mentioned this because I know it was my mistake to lie. Still, he talked, interacted, and flirted with me, knowing I was much younger than he was. In his public Discord and his Twitch chat, sorry.
Yes, you
he
are.
would never give me too much attention, which gave way to me being more desperate for his affection when alone and in DMs. Chat. Why can't I get a woman like this?
I'm sure I'm already subscribed to her. No, I'm not.
Yes, 1 year makes all the difference. She's basically a child. I mean, from the way she acts and talks, definitely. Like, even Null has managed to get, like, insane femcells desperate for his, his little Slovenian. I think he's in Slovakia or something. Yeah, another desperate woman. I mean, I have no idea what this woman looks like, but I mean, he obviously thought that she was pretty enough to we'll get there. You sure you want that man? Look, you don't quite understand. You don't quite understand. I was raised in a very conservative Christian household, okay?
Here we go again.
I was warned many times by my parents that I needed to be careful, that I needed to preserve my virginity, which I still am, and I still think it's a good thing.
Oh.
I do not intend to sleep with anyone who is not my wife.
Oh, no.
However,
no.
it was kind of funny because I was raised on all of these stories of Christian men who had been aggressively pursued by non-Christian women and had like given in and destroyed themselves. And so, you see, I was homeschooled as well. So when I went to college, I was like, I'm going to have to really be on my guard because, you know, there are dangerous people out there. And yeah, I went through all of college and, you know, nothing happened. No, I didn't seek anything and everybody was just like, hey, yeah, it's chill, isn't it? And nowadays, I'm just like, it's a really strange feeling. It's a really weird feeling, as if Proctor was told not to stick his dick in BPD. Yeah, I was, and I agree. But it's just weird to me how there are people with much worse prospects than me who managed to find these women and have these women find them, and yet I've never had that happen to me.
I had a memory of
and it's
goldfish.
just weird. Again, it's not as if I would reciprocate if it happened, but it almost feels as if I'm missing out on something. Proctor, what teaching method did your parents use? The whip regularly. No, basically, I got, to be honest, it's so long ago I barely even remember, but I was taught how to read and, well, I could read when I was 3 years old. I could read quite fluently when I was 3 years old. And to the point where, like, my parents briefly sent me to school for about 2 or 3 years. And first of all, because I was autistic and I had a lot of sensory issues and so on, I just couldn't handle school, especially Irish public school with a lot of, there was a lot of bullying and so on. And so the teachers just said, you know, we can't handle this child, because I was extremely intelligent as well. Because I'd been given a very good early start. I could recite the alphabet as soon as I could talk, and I could read by the time I could go to school, and so that set me apart from everybody else. So I was very frequently bored in school. I mean, this dude is in LA, you're in Mumshite, Ireland, he has more options. Yeah, I agree. Women can smell autism, homeschool buddies. Hell yeah, it's I would never ever let any of my children, if I ever have them, to go to school. They are all going to stay home and be educated by my church in my community. They are not going to school. You talking about your mother probably evaporates any thoughts in the vicinity. But yeah, I was in school very briefly, and then my mother just realized, hey, you need to come out of school, otherwise you are either going to develop many, many psychoses if you don't go there. And she educated me at home, and I have never once felt disadvantaged for not having a mainstream education. Every single thing that I have ever needed in life, I could teach myself very quickly and very easily if it was something that would have been covered in school. And yeah, look at the kind of things that school children get themselves into nowadays. Homeschool is just objectively better if you have a parent who is
homeschool your kids,
even just a couple of IQ points above the norm. In fact, I think there have been like professional studies done on homeschooled children and found that it takes roughly 3 hours a day for a parent to teach their child as much information as they would during an entire school day. In fact, it's like vastly better. The one-on-one teaching is vastly superior to the school system. And there's a whole argument. I could do a stream on education one day because I've read a lot of stuff about education. You know, it's like my best friend Alex says, the two worst things that a parent can do to their child is, 1, mutilate their genitals, and 2, put them through the American public education system. And yeah, he is a man who is now an economist, and he is an insurance salesman and a structured settlement broker who probably makes more than any 5 people in chat have done in their entire lives every year. Question, why are any of these women fatherless? I would say a good portion of these women are fatherless. But anyway, let's not get too tangenty on this. Let's continue this wonderful read. Unfortunately, it's not too long either. The Lily document was very long, and apparently the revived Sin or whatever document is over 52 pages. Good grief, that's going to be a marathon.
And just like that, I lost interest. And just like that, you lost me. Okay. Yeah, that was fun, but I only have so much patience for that. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. Thanks for coming. Take it easy. Later.